This isn't The View. This is the dad's point of view. Damn it. As you can see, Jason has 3 kids. I have 2. Together they equals 5. And while the moms are away, we keep our kids alive.
The plan is to talk about our family.
Why did you tell him what a Melvin was? And I said, would you rather me let him keep calling it a wiener wedge?
Plan is to talk about what we do as stay-at-home fathers.
I love to do it in front of the girls and then yell ducks.
Parking spiders.
The plan is to talk about our life as we know it right now.
I start to feel like I need me time. Where's my me time at?
For me, it's brand new. I've been in it for 2 years. For Chris, he's been doing stay-at-home dad since his children first dropped out the womb.
With what I've been through with my kids, they better cure cancer.
I just want to make sure I get the right people around my children.
Sorry, I know it's a podcast. I shouldn't be using visuals.
Hello. What up, though, world? Welcome back. We are here. My name is Jason, as you can see, and I got my beautiful co-host, Christopher, over there. What up, though, my guy? How you holding up, man? Oh, you're on mute. You're on mute. How do we? I can't. It won't let. There we go. There we go. Magic.
That is perfect because that represents my day.
Well, guys, as you can see, that was our brand new intro for the 2022 year. You will be catching that everywhere. And anybody that's listening, what's awesome is you just heard great quality there, man. That is fun. That is great. But that gives a great definition to exactly what this show is all about. Now, if you are watching us, thank you, because I see one of our longtime followers in the building, Jess in the building. Evening, guys.
Much earlier than normal.
Much earlier than normal. But what you can do is make sure that you follow us on all platforms, and we're streaming on all platforms when it comes to podcasting. So that is Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, Amazon podcasting, just about any and everywhere you do your podcasting, you can catch us live, not necessarily live, but our recordings. Right now you got us live. Right now you do. But man, we are in frigid Minnesota, man, loving life, and we brought in a new year, and I'm excited that we're here again to bring you some more great quality content from our family to yours. It's been a crazy day. Oh, my niece in the building. What up, though? Amina's in the building. Appreciate you stopping by, man. Chris, Happy New Year, brother.
Happy New Year to you as well. How was Christmas? How was New Year's? Anything fun? I heard you had sick kids last week, and I got them this week.
Oh man, you know what? It was great. It was awesome. Santa showed up and showed out for the kids. They did their business. The one thing my kids gonna not like me after this. The one thing I just wish is they had more appreciation for the toys Santa brought them and what their parents got them, because it's like the first week afterwards they're done with the new toys. And in our household, at least myself, I try to make sure that they get as much play, wear and tear, and usage out of the toys they just opened on Christmas Day, and then hold on to some of the toys and we don't open them until a little bit later. But then, they feel like, oh, we've used the playtime of these toys up. I need to go and open up the new toys because they're just sitting there looking at me. I'm like, you haven't even finished playing with the toys that you opened on Christmas, i.e. LOL and LMFAO dolls and the houses that just sit in the living room. But don't let me get to that. Don't let my blood pressure go high. You know what I mean?
Santa's on my naughty list because he snuck in the LOL doll for my kids for Lil, and I was not happy about that one. There were a couple of gifts I was surprised that were opened up on Christmas morning.
There it is. That shows what our parenting is.
And so we always do Christmas Eve from each other, and like our gifts to the kids. That's what we always do. Then Christmas Day is the Santa gifts. This year just worked out where we were just the 4 of us for both Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, so they got 2 Christmases or whatever.
Right.
And Christmas Day, Sawyer's got all these toys. And what does he want to do when it's 12 degrees? Dad, let's go outside and play baseball.
I saw that photo, man. I saw you place a photo on Facebook or what is now called Metaverse or Meta. That my man
Meta
wanted to
World
be
Peace?
outside. Meta. I don't think there's no world peace on Facebook. Old Facebook, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Formerly known as Facebook. I don't think there is any peace on there. But one thing that I did love and I did enjoy is just having family around. The kids were having fun. We were able to have Jake and Kelly over for Christmas, and the boys were just elated. The sheer joy on all the kids' faces when they're like ripping those packages open is a big plus.
It's about 30 seconds of mayhem, right? Then it's all done.
Then it's all done, right?
Yeah.
Right. And then the thing is trying not to throw away the new toys that just came in. That's the important part. I've done that a couple years ago where they looking for one toy and I'm like, oh man, it's in one of those garbage bags. So I guess Dad's going digging in the garbage here. You know?
Did you see that thing that posted on social media where it was kids? It was like kids opening their presents and the dad's right there next to him with a garbage bag.
I call that person Mark Tilley. That's what. If you know Mark Tilley or anybody out there know Mark Tilley, that man is definitely that guy.
We celebrated Christmas and New Year's with Jackie's side up at the lake, and it was 20 some below. And 10 minutes after the presents are open, we're outside. We go outside the garage and stuff, and my father-in-law threw all the wrapping paper in the bonfire outside. It's like snow all over the place. It's 20 below.
He's like, get this stuff out of here. I do not want anything like that. You know what I mean?
It's guy code.
So last week, man, was a big one just because Margo, she's been prone to getting ear infections, and she's been sick a little bit, and everybody else had a couple, you know what I'm saying, little high temperature, but it was the fact that it was almost a week before school too. So they were really in the mode of like, I'm not ready to go to school, but they want to be outside the house. And then with these cold temperatures, I'm not the look. Maybe I need to just get out of that bubble. But I'm like, look, if it's negative anything, none of my children are going outside because why? I don't want to be outside in negative degree weather. Are you the same way, or are you like, you know what, whatever, let's bundle up and go?
If I'm up at the lake, I'll go outside and go ice fishing. If I'm gonna go do like something fun, yes. But if I have to take the garbage outside, it's gonna stack up just a little bit. Or I have no desire to leave the house at all unless it's like I said. We were ice fishing New Year's Eve. Now New Year's Day was too damn cold. It was like 20 some below on New Year's Day. New Year's Eve was only like 1 degree, so we managed to go ice fishing. But like when it's days like today, and my kids, they're fine. They have a cold, but they need to get their get out of jail free pass before they can go back to school. Um, Today I was like, all right, well, no one's leaving the house. That works for me. There's no point in going outside. The garbage can sit and freeze in the garage, and I'll take it to the can tomorrow when it's 15, 20 degrees warmer.
Right.
So if Jack got a call right now and said, hey, I just got offered a job in Florida, or someone offered me a job in Florida, I don't know if I would say goodbye to my family and friends. I would be on a plane and I would come see me. I'm never coming back to this frozen tundra again. Hunt.
Why do we do this to ourselves every year? As Minnesotans and Midwesterns, we should know that it's going to get this way in January and February. Facts.
I don't like being confined in, like, I don't do long sleeve shirts or sweaters. I would rather be cold than wear them. And so Jackie and I were having heat wars in the car up to Ely because I'm in a t-shirt, all in sweaters and hoodies and stuff, and I keep turning the heat up and she's turning the heat down, like we're sweating, and I'm like, you're overdressed. She's like, it's January. She's turning it down. Like,
you need a car with the dual air system so y'all can figure that out.
Yeah.
So speaking of weather and speaking of shirt and all that kind of stuff, and this just happened today, so it made me think about it today. I went to go get the girls from off the bus stop. And with that, they come walking down, and I'm looking. They don't have their hats on. They don't have their gloves on. Hazel's not in her boots. and I'm just right now I'm livid. Granted, it's an oxymoron because I just showed up in a sweater, like no coat, it's down the street, man. So I'm in the sweater, but I'm like irate, like where's your hats at? I'm yelling down the street, put your hats on. Like, are you doing the same thing with your children? Like making sure that they're bundled up in this type of weather when they're getting off the bus or just going out?
I pick him up when Sawyer comes out of school all the time in just a hoodie, and a lot of times he'll take off his leggings and just have shorts on. I don't care because I remember the bus being hotter than hell, and I remember school being hot, and you're cold outside for 5 minutes to the car, and then 5 minutes to walk to school. Now the talk I had with him was to go outside when it's below this weather. You need your leg covered, and you need your hat covered. You want to go play in the snow, you need your snow pants, or you cannot play. And then
Right.
I said, you don't have to argue with me. You can argue with your teachers about that one, bud. And I got their back on that one. And so
Right.
if we go outside and play, I kind of get on him a little bit. And when it was 15 below and we were playing catch in Ely, he wasn't wearing gloves. Dad, I can't catch. I said, all right, you're gonna last 3 minutes then. And sure enough, he picked the ball up one time, and my hands are cold.
Well,
All right,
put your
go
gloves
in.
on, right?
Yeah, put your gloves on. You know what? Be like Adam Thielen and put your gloves on and drop it. And no, sorry, cheap shot. I
Here
forgot
it
that you're
comes, right?
I forgot that you're a Packers fan for a second. I tried to take a Vikings shot. So,
I'm glad. Go for it.
oh
Well,
man,
no,
sorry. Go ahead.
I just say that because I, one, I don't want them losing the items and the articles that they have, right? Because they're gonna need it at some point if we go sledding or do something. But I also just feel like y'all are small, man. You can lose your appendages quicker. I don't know. I'm like, I might have the old ways of thinking or whatnot. The classic old way is they're gonna catch a cold. I know now, as an adult, you don't catch a cold from cold weather. Like that doesn't happen. But I'm like, you're gonna get pneumonia. Like, you know what I'm saying? Put your stuff on, and that is the reason why I kind of like lost my lid with him, and I felt bad. I apologized for my actions, and because I didn't have to yell at her, and she apologized too. But it's just like, bro, like little mama, I just want you to be safe, warm, and again safe. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Hey, so today you had some complications, man. What's going on today? The kids was going stir crazy for you?
I woke up and my kids woke up and nobody left the house. That Jackie worked today. End of story. Again, so we were, like I said, we didn't go anywhere on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. Plans just fell through, and so we were going stir crazy then. I mean, I take that back. Christmas Eve actually with somebody got sick and we chose not to be around vomit and diarrhea, and so somebody got sick and we decided to take the kids to Valley Fair for the late show on Christmas Eve, just get them out of the house. And then Christmas Day we were home, and then Monday I took them bowling, and then Tuesday we were going stir crazy, and then Wednesday we left for the lake. So it was nice to get them out of the house.
Right.
Because we were at the breaking point, but then we got to go to the lake with cousins and grandma and grandpa, and then we got back Sunday night, and then Monday they go to school, and they've been home since Tuesday. So Sawyer went to school on Tuesday. Lilly stayed home, and then Wednesday he was home. So this is day 2 of them both being home, and we're still like in winter break mode. And the fact that it's so cold outside, and everyone's just on everyone's nerves and need to go do something else. And they're just fighting, and it's tough. Well, I just said before, when Jack's working at home and the kids are home, it's really hard for me, especially when I can't get out of the house, because I can't let them go bother her, and but I have to keep them entertained, and then it's just frustrating.
So
And by
my
the way,
question for you.
oh, go ahead.
So my question for you before I forget it, what are you doing to combat that? Like what are some of the things that you do when they're starting to go stir crazy? It's been a couple of days, because that happens to me. And for me, I turn into yes, dad.
It's tougher when Jackie's here, because when one wants to do this and the other doesn't want to do that, I can, when she's not here, I'm gonna do this with him, and then I'll do this with her, and then I can go back and forth. But when she's here, I gotta be attentive, because they're both known to kind of, when I'm not looking or whatever, they'll run, ask mom for something or bother her, she's on a call. I'm like, oh, well, she's on a conference call. I think I forgot something in her room. And so it's just, it's that part is harder. Today I tried doing stuff with them today, and one didn't want to do this, and then we played Operation, and that ended poorly because whenever the light bulb went off, they were denying that the light bulb went off, and it clearly went on. So
it clearly went off. Like, come on now.
And oh geez, it was such a long day. I try engaging with them and do what they want to do. They get a little. I mean, and granted, Sawyer was a little. He's still getting over it, so he was a little wiped, and so he didn't have much energy. But
Sure.
They did lose all screen time for 3 hours, which
Ooh.
I don't know why I punished myself that way, but I had it.
That
And
part.
the number 3 hours just popped out of my mind.
Oh,
It wasn't an hour. It was just then it was. They both sat in their rooms for a good 45 minutes with no screen time. So then these little shits they call kids, they start calling each other on their Alexas, and they start fighting with each other through their Alexas, and then like they'd say something, and then they hang up, and the other person would call, and her like, it's probably Sawyer calling me. So then she answers it, and they're just fighting back and forth, and then like they're opening their doors, and I'm like, close your door. They close the door. So then I finally go on my phone and I mute their Alexas so they can't do that. And so all of a sudden, Sawyer go, Echo, Echo, Echo. Opens the door and just goes, I hate you, Dad.
Wow. Really going, y'all was really going through it today, brother. Holy mackerel.
Right. And by the way, I don't know, January, I cold turkey everything. I quit all tobacco, I quit alcohol, and I quit snacks. So I'm just,
you jonesing right now, bro.
I'm short temper. I'm drinking that herbal tea. So
the herbal tea, man. I commend you, my brother. That is heavy right there.
They picked the wrong day to come at Dad. How about you?
They're going shot for shot. So for us, man, it was like I said, I ended up turning to Yes Dad. So at that point, you know, the classic granola bar comes up. You know what I'm saying? Can we get a granola bar? Can we do that? Can we watch TV? Can we, you know, read a book or not necessarily even read a book? They want to do like Hazel has on her school tablet audio book. So then, you know what I'm saying, do things like that. And in my head, I'm like, okay, I want to get less TV time or screen time and just more interactions and more like playing with each other. And then me playing with it, because my former play is roughhousing. I want to roughhouse with them, and they just enjoy it. They love it. We throwing stuffed animals at each other. It's kind of like my own little arena of doom kind of thing. And when we really have a good time. But I get fed up with it a little bit because there's 3 of them, and some of them scratch. And at this point, I'm like, okay, I'm done, because they all jump on my lap, and at this time they got little bitty feet that's just stomping everywhere. That I can't take for a very long time. You know what I mean?
And yours all sit down when they pee, so they don't understand the pain that even a little 3-year-old can, you know. Daddy,
like put out. Yep.
Dad, why are you singing like Mariah Carey? Huh? Well,
that's 100%.
I said my joke to Sawyer when he does that is, oh man, right in the grandkids. when he gets it, I go, oh man, right in the grandkids, and he says it and he laughs. He doesn't get the joke. But damn it,
I bet he does it.
No, he doesn't.
I bet he does.
Sorry to cut you off.
No, you good. So we end up playing, man, or we switch it up to like movie time. But here's where I got like a double issue, right? I'll have a time where I'll try not to blast off and be extremely angry, and I'm like, look, guys, I love playing with you, and I love kicking it with you. Like there's no doubt about that. But at this point, like, we gotta start doing stuff. The house needs to get picked up. Mom's gonna be home soon. I gotta start making dinner. And when I say that, they're both like, so I have, you know, Hazel and Quinn are both like, oh, can we help? And then at that point, if I'm doing that, Margo want to be a part of it. I'm not about to have 3 little children try to help me cook dinner. That's a no-go. Like, not happening, sir. So I have to figure out how to keep them entertained or have them entertain themselves. So my next form is, hey, How about you go pick up your rooms? Go clean your room. Like there's Legos that I step on every day. There's LOL purses and coats and shoes that are in the middle of the room. Like I don't know why under the dinner table there's a Lego car. This is the dinner table, please. So we're helping. I'm trying to get them to clean up. And then here's the thing. Quinn, Hazel will do it without a problem. She might have a little attitude, but she'll do it. Quinn is the one where it's day from day or moment to moment. At one moment, she'll clean the room up, spick and span, or even clean her room and make the bed. But when I tell her to go do it sometimes, when we're just going tit for tat, oh boy, she don't know how to do it. Her legs stop hurt. Actually, she gets ailments like, oh, my leg hurts. Oh, my finger, it's been hurting forever. I'm like, when did this start happening? Yesterday, and you just now telling me? Well, it's because I don't want to clean my room. Like, come on, man. Like, help me help you, because if I got to clean up everything, then I can't play with you. That's how I try to break it down to them, but they don't understand. I talk to them like adults or like people. So I tend to forget sometimes that they are little people and they don't understand some of the stuff. Because when I'm explaining it, I see the glaze over on their eyes. Like, damn, what is Dad talking about? Like, I don't even know that word. I've never heard accustomed. like, can you explain what accustomed? Now I didn't spend 15 minutes trying to explain accustomed, and then everything that we talked about beforehand gone out the window. Not even an idea. I told Hazel to clean up her room one day, and I said it just like this. I need you to go clean your room up, because here's the thing. If you don't do it before Mom gets home, it's never going to get done. Because once Mom walks in the door, you're going to want to have her attention. You want to hug her. You want to show her everything and do everything. And the room's never going to get clean. Before you know it, 3 days go by. The one thing I said is, put the large tub of Legos back under your bed. It took a week for her to do that. A whole week. I bet if I go up there right now, it's still in the middle of her bedroom.
If you walked into Lily's room right now and you made it to her bed without tripping, you should go on Ninja Warrior.
Ninja Warrior.
One time so the funny thing about Lil is, one time I told you need to make your bed before we leave. Make your bed before we leave. And this is before we were going to eat. And I walked up there and I looked. I said, she came out. I made my bed, Dad. And I said, okay. And I walked by and I go, Lil, you didn't make your bed. She goes, yes, I did. I go, that is not making your bed. She goes, Dad, it's called Blanket Valley. And I'm like, that's not
Blanket
it's
Valley.
not. And then you got Sawyer, who spent an hour organizing his room, and he labeled, like, yesterday he organized his football cards by team. If the player, like, now DeAndre Cardinals uniform or Houston uniform is with the Cardinals, and he spent
right
the whole day organizing his team, and he'll spend an hour on it. And Lil's just like, the funny thing about her is I can say, Lily, can you go clean up your room, please, or go put this away? And it's, if I say, help me with this, girl, come run over and help me. Like, Lily, we need to change Prince's litter box. She's on it. Lily, can you play with Boss for a few minutes? You need some attention. Can you sure, absolutely. Lily, want to help me cook? Absolutely. Lily, can you go clean your room?
No.
Like, it's if it's to help somebody, the girl's all about it. When it comes to her whole
yep.
bubble. So do you punish them for not? Oh, go ahead.
I like that. We're going to touch on that one real quick. And I don't mind if you don't answer this one, because this is a general question to all the viewers and all the listeners. Do you, as a parent, are you just doing it yourself? Like, you say, you know what, forget it. Monday, Tuesday, or whatever day you choose in the week, I'm just going to go in there and clean up everyone's room, organize it, and get it done. Is that something that you just like, I'm going to do? Let us know. Comment here if you're with us now, or if you're listening on a podcast, just go to our Facebook page and at RBSAHD Stay at Home Dad and leave a comment under this video stating if you are just like, you know what, we're going to handle it ourselves and clean it up myself and keep it that way and just tidy up behind them. Great question. But you're asking about punishment, and I actually don't punish if they don't clean it. I'll punish if they do something to each other, harm each other, hit each other, and then they'll get a timeout for that. But I don't punish if they're not cleaning up. Are you guys implementing punishment for something of that nature?
I refuse to clean their rooms. Like, so they want to live
Facts.
in, and I don't know if this is right or wrong. I shame Lily all the time for it. Like, this is disgusting. I can't walk in here. And it bothers me to like it. So like I'll go in there to say goodnight to her and help her with her laundry or put her laundry away. But she wants to play. I'm like, I'm not gonna play in your room though. I can't. There's no room. There's nowhere for me to play.
There's no.
And she's things itty bitty bouncing up and down, and I'm all just like Olympics for me to get through there. But I don't know, because I mean, back and forth on that, because that's her space, that's her room. I mean,
Right.
we take pride, like when people, our house is extra clean. When people come over, we take pride in that, and they see that. Now, when she leaves messes throughout the house, then I
That's
can
a different
kind of,
story.
you're not watching your iPad until this gets put away, like.
Yep.
Or you
So
walk away from your dishes, put your dishes away, but it's her bedroom. I'm not letting her leave like food all over the place, but like if she leaves her stuffed animals and toys all over the place, that's her mess.
yeah. So shout out to Tennille. She's in the building. That's one of my I'm her co-host on her show. So she said, "Hey Jason, glad you stopping in, man. Hit the like button, share that for us." Again, great question. When it comes to what you ask, if it was right or wrong, I wanted to touch on it. I don't think it's there is absolutely no right nor wrong when parenting. We're all really figuring out day to day. There will be backlash. There will be at some point when she's a teenager and be like, "You never tell me what to do," or "You always." There will be that backlash, because I like what you said, and I thought about myself, and I try to make sure I don't, because I do the same thing, bro. You're not alone when you're like, this room is just, oh my gosh, right? And then in my head, I'm like, dude, she's only 8, bro. Like, I don't know. I think she only knows how to clean up as much as because in her mind, she's like, I need these here. I still want those there. I don't know where to put this. So, and at that point, I'm like, I guess I should be in there helping her figure out how to organize instead of just expecting her to. But I do make comments. I am the one of like putting her to bed, and I just look and I go, "Hey, look at this room. What do you think it look like?" She's like, "I don't know." I'm like, "Yeah, you do. Don't give me I don't know. What it look like to you?" "Messy, I guess." And I'm like, "Come on." I'm like, so I'm like, just like this. I'm like, "Come on." I'm like, "Come on, little homie, man. Help me help you." Like, obviously, we need this room clean, and you want to be able to find stuff and move around. I just want you to have a clean room. And I guess in her mind, she looking at me like Dad, like, this is clean. What you talking about? So I don't know, man. You guys out there, what are you guys doing as a parent? As when it comes to cleaning, are you helping them clean up, showing them how to organize, where to put things, and how to have their space set up, or are you just doing it for them so you don't have to go through what we're going through, what we're talking about here?
It's funny you said when they get older and there's backlash in teenagers. Lily literally said to me, when I was putting her to bed, uh, "Daddy, what am I going to be like as a teenager?" And I think I got my first gray hair. No, I was like,
that's such a profound question coming from a 6-year-old, man. Like,
well, we've talked about it and stuff, and people have joked, "Oh, wait till she's a teenager and all that stuff." And Lil, you're gonna hate me and scream at me like crazy, but then you're still gonna love me. Basically, now, like
not right,
you're,
yeah, it's gonna be the same
you,
but older.
I told her, I said, when you become a teenager, it's gonna be a lot like you were 2 years ago, sweetie, where you have really high and you're an emotional girl, and so you feed off your emotions, and you're just gonna have to learn to control them. And we're out of the woods now for about years, but
We got a couple years left, man. Well,
yeah,
these teenagers are turning, these kids are turning teenagers at the age of 10, man. So we I don't know. So
I'm
Jess
still a
came with
teenager.
that part. He said, I never grew up. Jess says, I let it go for a couple weeks as a disaster, and then they can't do anything till it's done. Huh. all right, you put them back against the wall. Like they're back against the wall. Here's what you got. We can't go to parks. We can't get Mickey D's or whatever your incentive food is, and you can't get the tablet until all this is cleaned up, and then they just go ahead and clean it up. I like that one. I actually might implement that. So helping each other out as parents. That's what this is for. I'm glad that we got someone to comment on that. Appreciate you, Jess.
My biggest punishment for Sawyer is always to take away his friendship. Like take away my friendship with him to not go to not do something with him he wants to do. And that's
okay.
No, you disrespected me, or you said this, or I asked you to do this and you didn't do it. Fine, I'm gonna go do it now. I said, no, you're not gonna go do it because you want to get something for it. You're gonna do it because I asked you to do it, and you need to respect me. And there was one time where he wanted to go outside and play football, and he needed to burn energy, and I wouldn't go do it. Or then Jackie pulled me inside, and we had a conversation. And I said, I never said he can't go outside and play or go to the park. I said, I'm not going to engage with him and play with him because he was mean and he was disrespectful, and that hurts him. And it sucks me because I love playing with him. But at the same point, it's the number one thing I can take away from him. Number one thing you take away from Lilly is her iPad.
Gotcha, man. That's a good question. Now I have to think about it. There's no number one thing. I think me, like, okay, what it probably would be for us here, it'd be me yelling. I do a bit of it, but I don't do a lot of it. And when they finally tip the when they finally tip the scale, and I'm like at wit's end, I've been cleaning up, I've been doing everything, and I'm just like empty on my cup of water, I'll burst. And my yelling is pretty big. It's pretty big. I'm pretty sure, you know what I'm saying? Neighbors are walking by like oh man, we might need to call somebody, man. Somebody in trouble over there.
Hey, Harry, you got that look in your eye.
So that could be the case. And I can see them, get very like, oh snap, I guess we need to really get on to it. But I know mom definitely takes tablets away, and it's harmful, not in like a bad way, but it's like we see the meltdown when they decide to want to use the tablets, and we like, nah, and they go to, and then it's just meltdown city. So we do have to contend with that. Jess did reply with an awesome statement, referring back to what we were talking about with cleaning up. She goes, if they want to spend the entire weekend cleaning, that's their choice. Think about it next time. Man, we are helping these people get great decision-making skills when they are older. I think so.
Just don't look at my storage closet because I want to go play this weekend. Yeah.
So I mean, I think I have to calm down on the yelling a bit, but I think it works because the only one it doesn't work with is Quinn. Quinn decides to be her own. All of them their own. All three of them are their own individuals, obviously. But Quinn has a special radiant glow to her that is extremely colorful. And that's what I name meltdowns. I name any kind of not even tantrum, but any kind of highly explosive or fragile emotion as being colorful. And a lot of everyone in this home has a very colorful attitude. With that being said, Quinn is an exceptional one because she's learning how to do her little stump. She's learning how, not even learning, like she's just like knows about it. Now what happens is I'll start talking to her, and her and I going back and forth. And at this point in my head, I'm old school Black family. Like, you ain't really supposed to be talking back to me. She's talking back, and I'm like, okay, I gotta be new school. Let me hear her out. And I'm like, so what's wrong with you again? And she she hit me one time with the stump, and she goes, I already told you. It took everything inside of me not to laugh. So I'm doing one of these. I'm looking up, trying not to laugh. So I start to talk, and laughter just comes out. So I have to say this because I don't want to let her think that I'm laughing at her. So I'm like, I am baffled how you just talking back to me like this. It's so funny to me. But in my head, I'm like, man, this little soldier right here, she is not backing down from what she stands on. That right there to me shows a lot about who she is going to be in the future.
Lilly's meltdowns, I don't want to one up you or anybody, but I'm telling you, I have it documented. The two that really come to mind, one was I had to get or something, and was in preschool, and Lily came with me to the doctor's. She started melting down because we had to leave. Kicking and
You're
screaming, red
leaving
in
the
the face,
doctors.
spitting. Yes, she has to leave. Screaming. I'm like carrying her, dragging. She's kicking. Like I'm using force. I have to get my son from preschool. Like there's no like, oh, just have it out. Like I don't want my 5-year-old or 6-year-old freaking out who's only away from dad twice a week. Like I don't want him freaking out. Where's daddy? Where's daddy? So I'm like
Yep.
strapping her into the car because normally I'll like have at it. Like normally when they were melting down, I'm like, all right, everybody, let's go. She's having a meltdown. Let's let her get it out of her system. Are you ready to talk? But she starts screaming at the office. Try to buckle into the car. She screams the 15-minute ride to pick Sawyer up. She screams the entire walk into the school. The
Yep.
entire walk there, she's seen her teacher or people she knows from ECFE, and they're like, "Hi, Lil," and she's like, "Ah," and they're like walking the other way, and like some teachers are trying to help her, and she just was not having it. And I was calm as can be, and I got like a badge of honor from all these parents and teachers. Oh, you're doing so good with them. Like, thanks. I don't know what I'm doing. We're just onward and upward. Here we go. And she's screaming. She's screaming as we get Sawyer out of his class, and Sawyer's like, "Oh my gosh!" And like it's like people are like, "Oh, let him go first. Let him go first." And then she's on the floor, like, "No, everyone else go. We'll wait." She's still screaming. She's red in the face. Screams all the way to the walk back. Screams into the car. I have to fight her to get her seatbelt on. She screams for at least a half hour when we get home. It was like a 2-hour ordeal, and it was like in 3 different cities. Like, it's
Oh
like,
man.
and she's just snot in the face, red, and I was just like, I have a college degree. Like, this shit, man.
The
Now,
dedication some people have, man. That is a
yeah,
dedication.
there
She
that
said,
was,
I'm going to stick to this.
but the pitch that she got to when she screamed is it's you can like it rattles the walls. I'm not even kidding you. And I
Oh,
was dealing with migraines, so I have one. It's coming up here. The anniversary's coming up. It'll be on Facebook, and I'll retrace the day for you because I actually said it was like I was like, all right, 9:08 a.m. I told Lily no iPad until her room is my bed is made. Let's see how long this lasts. And I got videos of me with headphones on, and she's like screaming, and I'm like, she's like, Daddy, I just want a hug. I said, well, last time I went to give you a hug, you kicked me. And, no, I want a hug. It's like I document. I'm like, this is insane. Literally noise blocking headphones. So sorry, it was a
oh.
long tangent, and I went to a dark place.
You needed that. That was a release right there. That's what we call healing. Healing. We just had a moment of healing. I love it, man.
I traded wine for tea.
Hey, so okay, so I love this because it begs to ask the next question for us parents that are listening and that will listen. Uh, when our children are having those kind of episodes, what are we doing to facilitate that? Because I remember as a child, and that's probably kind of where I have a little bit of my trauma or issues at with communication or expressing feelings. It's always button up, like stop. You better, you know what I'm saying? Like don't do that.
I'll give
You
you
know,
something to cry about.
right? Who you talking to? Like, and I find myself doing that every so often when it comes to, either like it's more Quinn than any of the other two. Um, just because she's more expressional with her feelings, which is great. And I have to be able to continue to let her do that instead of having her button down. Because I would hate later on in life she don't know how to express it properly. So I want to make sure, parents, what are we doing with our children that are expressing themselves to that volume? Like, are you letting them ride it out and then we have a conversation later, or are you trying to button them up? Another great question for you guys. If you're here, put it in the comments. If you are listening on podcast, go ahead and find us on YouTube, and then send us a comment, or even on the place that you're listening to the podcast. We have a couple people in the building, man. Rashia's is in the building. What up, though? That's a good friend of mine. She says my mom would never let me do that. I've gotten popped so quick, and that's what I'm saying. And more of that traditional Black family, that kind of happens for us. And I've done it. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. I've done it a few times. It's just like I've popped one or two or all of them. Like, who you like, y'all? You better hush up. You know what I'm saying? And then she hold on 1 second. One hold on to that thought. She goes, my mom didn't play that screaming and cutting up on her. Facts. Go ahead, man.
I was gonna say, I don't think it's a black and white thing. I think it's a generational thing, because I got smacked. I got the belt.
Oh, okay. There you go. See,
so,
but then again, you are from Detroit and Redford area. They just been known to, you know what I'm saying? That's how we move. You feel me? But I think you're 100% right. It is a generational thing for sure.
I mean, again, if those that use corporal punishment now, I'm not against you. Do your kids the way you want to raise your kids, but we just don't do corporal punishment. That's just us.
Understood. Yeah, 100%.
So what she just say? If you embarrass me,
her mom would say, if you embarrass me, I will embarrass you. Facts, 100%. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the argument I'll give you against that is that they're looking for attention or something, and by doing that, you're giving them the attention. Like I always try and help her, and then like when she's ready to calm down, cool. But when this is a couple years ago, but when she was in that state, I'm like, you need to figure it out, because I'm not gonna give you what you want to calm you down. You can crack them, and they're gonna get it. That, in a way, yes, it disciplines, but it also gives them attention. But
right, I've been known to stop. I'm like, okay, stop crying. Listen, I need you to stop crying. Talk to me. Tell me what you're feeling. Tell me what's wrong, and let's try to work on the solution. I've done that a couple of times. Again, I don't want to pick on my darling baby. I love her so much, but Quinn's more expressional when it comes to that. And as far as it is with Hazel, it's problem solving, or which now it makes me really beg to think. I gotta tap in with that a little bit more. She's kind of go with it, like, nah, it's okay. Kind of like whatever makes the situation easier for her. But I've also had conversations with Katie though, that what I'm saying, begged to be a little different, and that was just mainly me being a little too hard on her, like putting too much, not pressure on her, but just being a little harder on her than she's been used to. So, Jess has another comment, man. She goes, well, walk away and tell them, come talk to me when you're calmly and calmly talk to me. I hear you on that one. Yeah.
Now, is that for your spouse or for your children?
both of us. I'm gonna walk. Shout out to Katie. She actually did that. She hit him with the, like, look, I'm leaving right now because I need to calm down and you need to calm down. She went into the bedroom, closed the door, and I think Quinn had to be like 3 or so. It was about last year or a year before, and she just stood at the door crying, "Mommy!" It didn't help Quinn, but Katie definitely got into her zone, and then they actually talked it out, which was good. Long comment here from Miss Rashia. Let's see what it says. She goes, I think it depends on the kid and the type of household you have. Kids have their own limits. They know how far they can go with, and they will test you. And think our responses to those tests will determine the type of behavior you get out of them. That's great.
It is. We talked with. We always, not immediately after, but like a couple hours later, and she would get embarrassed by her actions, and we would talk to her about her meltdowns and why they happen. And you are allowed to have your emotions, but you need to learn to control them, and that's not the way to do it. And we could always, you could see Hurricane Lily coming. Like, you just knew it was about to happen.
Right. Right. I understood that. Yep.
And then with Sawyer, like you're saying, Quinn and Hazel are so far off from each other. Sawyer and Lilly the same way. Sawyer he had meltdowns like any kid did, but his ended earlier and they didn't last as long. He was more of a quick outburst.
Gotcha. Okay. I think we're all doing really well when it comes to this parenting thing. It's 100% not it's like a different molding every day for each person and how many ever children you have. Like it's a consistent change of how do we attack today. But holding on to some of those core things that we were just speaking about is absolutely important. Helping someone or helping the children through their emotion is 100% key. And I'm by no way telling anybody how to parent at all, but I think it works extremely well when everyone has good communication. So the child having their ability to talk to you about how they feel, whether it is, that parent or the other, and you being able to accept that feeling and all of you guys walk through a solution. That's important.
I think she nailed it too. It depends on the environment they're in and the child that they are, because each kid's different, and each situation or each parent is different. So
facts. Well, because I give a perfect example. This was probably 2 years ago, or maybe even about 2 years ago, or maybe last year. Katie came to me, was like, I think you need to be a little more relaxed with Hazel. She came to me and told me how she feel about how you talk to her, how she's feeling when you guys are communicating, and it was more along the lines of me not reprimanding her, but having those tougher conversations when she's not doing something correctly, or if I feel that something isn't going properly. It wasn't necessarily a fear, but she was hesitant just to open up and talk to me. So then that's when I have to assess as a parent and not say that I'm breaking their communication trust, but it's like, okay, let me sit with you, Hayes. Let's go on a date. Let's have time together and let me walk through what's going on. Hayes, you can talk to me about anything. I know I'm a little hard on you, but that's just because I want you to be an awesome human, an awesome adult later in life. So these are lessons, like, lessons. And I need you to be okay telling me any and everything. So when we talk about not lying, we talk about expressing your feelings, that needs to be clear cut. So no matter if you do get in trouble or not, you need to be able to express, totality with us. Like, talk through exactly what's going on.
good for Katie to put you in check, but kind of because being with them all the time, it's repetitive, and you just like use the same reactions so many times that it doesn't always make sense for the situations, and we overreact, right? Because
that part
we've had it, and one kid's got your nerve up here, and the other one asks for something innocent, and you kind of just not go at them, but you don't give them the attention and response that they deserve, and you don't necessarily know why. And so Jackie's put me in check a few times. Like, you need a break? You need to calm down, or you were acting like this to her for no reason. And I was like, well, I guess you're right. I was on autopilot. So then, like you said, you sit down to take them on a date or hang out with them one-on-one and explain. I explain my reasonings or my actions, and why I was upset or why I acted. And I always try and teach my kids to admit their faults, and so I admit my faults
to do the same.
as well.
Yeah,
Yep,
man.
I did it to Lil yesterday.
Good deal, man. I love that.
I did it to Lil yesterday. She was in a bath and in our bathroom, and a call came up for Jackie, and she had to get on the phone real quick, so we kind of had to be quiet in the house. And then Jackie's call ended, but I didn't know that. And then Lily starts blaring Alexa, and I come running up, and as I come running up, Jackie's on the phone, and I look in the bath and I unplug it, and then I leave the room quietly, and I just and then I came back up to check on her, and Jackie was in the other room, and then she said, "Okay, guys, I'm off the phone. You can put it back on." And then she said, "Chris, I was off the phone, and I told Lily it was okay." So, and then a call came unexpectedly in the other room, and I had to take it. And so I told Lily, I said, Lily, I'm sorry that I did that. I didn't know. And so it's my fault.
Right.
I want to be like, look at your track record, but I wanted, wanted to be wanted to be a good parent there. But I said,
Right.
so I own it. And she goes, Dad, you look like you were really scared about something. it's like it's like yeah. So anyways, that's just an example of me owning like
Owning up to it.
should be like, yeah, well, last time you were wrong and I was right.
I was right. Right. I've gotten one of those thrown in my face too. No, I have a question right before we get out of here. It's the last one of the night, man. We're gonna wrap this up here. I was speaking to actually my good friend Rashia, and we were speaking about how the households are set up, and this reminded me: are you and Jack on the same page when it comes to parenting? Period. Like, there's no real examples to have. Like, I guess the best example I could think of is like you guys got a clear cut no. Like, all right, well, mom said no, then it's a no. It's no, well, I didn't know, and then you go back or they get whatever they're asking for. Is it like clear cut, like you guys make decisions together, or is it sometimes like, hey, maybe somebody can overrule every now and again?
We're not on the same page all the time, but we're always reading from the same book.
That's right.
If that makes sense. Yeah, we do step on each other's toes. We are completely different about certain things. And so no, we're not always on the same page, but it's not, a lot of it is reaction, not knowing the full story. You know what I
Sure.
mean? And
Right.
then like she will say, and then I will say, and then I'll say another thing, not realizing what she had said, and then the kids will react a certain way, like if it's time for bed or whatever, and they would say, "Oh no, like mom said we can have 10 more minutes and have a quick little snack or something," and then, but like if they, so let me say, if she was like, she'll tell them like, "Hey, we're gonna do this, this, and then it's bedtime," and then I'll come up and not realize she had said that, just not poor communication, just whatever, and I'll just say, "Hey
Right. Yeah.
guys,
Yeah.
all right, let's go brush our teeth and go to bed," and then a lot of times they'll just snap at me, "Mom said that," and then it's like, okay, now it's a thing. Now it's a thing because of
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
reaction. If you said,
Right.
"Hey, Dad, mom said this," and then I'm not going to trump mom. I'm going to support her. But like,
Right. Right. Right.
so
Yep. Yep. Yep.
then it comes. So then she comes in. Now I'm dealing with the kids, and she's like, "Well, I told them they can do this, and I didn't know that." So then we always find a solution, but we definitely make mistakes, and we come from two totally different families, and so
Facts. Facts. Facts.
um
Facts.
and we did have discussions about do's and don'ts as parenting, and then we have kids, and a lot of those don'ts became do's and a lot of those do's became don'ts. So
a lot of that, hey, a lot of that stuff changed ASAP.
yeah,
Miss
there was
Rashia,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, Miss Rashia does say, she says, me and Ro, which is her husband, shout out to my bro. She says, me and Ro are on the same page for sure. We talk about everything, and that's important too. Obviously, that'll be a different conversation and subject for another show,
Yeah.
as far as in spousal conversations about parenting and all. But yes, parenting definitely needs to have that same page. Not I love what you said. It doesn't sometimes have to be the same page, because it has to be the same book for
Yep.
sure. And damn near the same chapter. Like, you know what I'm saying? It might be different, but y'all got to be at least in the same chapter for sure. Jess here on Facebook also says a lot is give and take. Pick your battles, just like in the relationship. 100%.
Yep.
For me, I'm sorry, I know you were headed to a story. Did you want to go with that?
No, you shoot.
All right. So like for me and us here, it is the same, but sometimes I end up trumping out certain things. And so does mom. It's not to say that I'm the ruler and be all. But it's a lot of times, and mom had to understand it, like not understand it, but we got on that same page. The children end up asking for just about any and everything that they can ask for once she gets home from work. So mom finally, and we had that conversation. Mom finally was like, "Look, I can't change whatever dad has said already. Like, so don't come to me asking for this, that, and the other if dad already said no to it." You know what I'm saying? That's a wrap. Like I'm not going against what dad said already. Because what happened is they'll come to her like that, like they ain't ate all day. So if it's a day they didn't have school and we've been chilling and playing and all that, there's been ample of times I've been yes dadding them and they got everything. But when mom come home, it's like, oh well, she ain't been home to give me yeses. And I guess they need to tap in on that yes train for a tired mom. But it's simple as that, because there might be something I might set up or mom might set up, but they haven't been the best all day. So like mom might come home or even later in the day be like, hey, we're going to do a movie night. But I'm like, look, they ain't been on their best behavior. They ain't did this, that, or other. I overrule. There's no movie night tonight. Now, if you guys are on your best behavior, we could pick this up another day. And that's just law. Let's go. Let's get ready for bed. Let's go do this. And if y'all about to buck with me, I'm ready for war. Please believe I am. So I one sec. I absolutely agree when it comes to we all, and as a parent, I think everyone that's listening and everybody that's going to listen, I think everybody tuned in is going to have to say the same. It's like, you try to get on the same page as much as possible. You do have to be in the same book and damn near the same chapter. Because it is ebbs and flows. It is a lot of takes and gives. And it is a lot of picking the battle. I know I pick a lot of battles, man. There's some stuff that I'm just like, I don't want to deal with it because I can't even put this little girl hair in a ponytail while her melting down. So I know today's going to be a rough one, because there's days that she just let me do her hair without an issue. But then there's others. It's like, soon as I take the little binder out, it's meltdown city. I'm like, I'll fake it. I know I'm going off into another story. I'll fake it and just like graze my hand. And she's blood curdling screams. I'm like, I'm not even combing your hair. I'm not even combing it. Why are you doing all this? So my rant. I'm sorry, guys. I don't apologize, but that was my rant. I'm off the soapbox.
No, you're good, man. We actually had one today. Like when Jackie works from home, it's harder for me to deal with the kids because she's at home.
Mhm.
Like not when she's home, but like when she has to work and stuff because they play the game. And we've communicated about it. It's been a couple of years now, and we've kind of figured it out. And we had it today when she came out of the room when they were
Lost you.
Lose me.
It went down. Sorry about that. Go ahead. There you go. My internet stopped for a second. Continue.
We good?
Yep, we're good.
Where was I at? Anything important?
Home. We talked about it for a few years.
All right. So, okay. So then today, like I said, the kids were horrible today. Not more so Sawyer than Lil, and they got in a massive, not a massive fight, but they finally had a fight. They were whipping each other with a cat toy, and then so Lilly got Sawyer really good. So he had a couple welts on his back, and he was teasing her. They're hitting each other, blah blah. And I finally said, "All right, both you guys in your rooms, and if you get on your screens that are taken away, then your screen's gone for a week." I don't know why he said a week. It just came out, and then they go up in the room, and 2 minutes later, Sawyer comes out, and I said, "I thought I said," and he looks at me, and he's got a massive bloody nose. He just gets bloody noses in the dry weather, so it wasn't from Lil. So he goes in and he deals with it, and he's screaming, crying because Lily hit him or whatever, and then Jackie came out and she's like, "What's going on?" And she's checking his back, and she's like, "He's got welts," and I was like, "Let me deal with it." She's like, "He's got welts." I'm like, "What do you think is gonna happen when you're fighting your sister? What do you think is gonna happen when you guys are whipping each other? Like, you guys have been doing this all day. You've been fighting. I asked you to stop. You didn't listen. And I just looked, I said, just please go back to work and let me deal with this. Like, cause I don't want, because I understand like she's the mom and like she sees welts on her boy and he's crying and she wants to figure out what's going on. And I was like, but
true.
you know, I was in the trenches. You can't come showing up in a helicopter and then come down like, oh, this is a tough fight. Like, so it's like,
no, you can't. Yeah, you can't do that way. Yep.
And so she went. She's like, okay. So she went back in her room and back to work. And then at the end of the day, when she comes down, how was your day? Great. How was your day? That was something that we've actually learned that we've worked on, is that when she's home working, I parent. Like I'm the parent. Like, I mean, different, like in a break and stuff happen, but like I call the shots. Now you want to disagree with something, I do 100%, but like it's got to be my law when you're here to working, because you can't bob and weave, or I mean engage and then have to go to work, and then you weren't quote unquote dealing with it from the start.
From the start of it. Yeah, man.
And
Great. Go ahead.
I had one more thing, and it has to do with Christmas, and it has to do with spouse communication. So
Yes, sir.
Santa brought, how I am about my man cave.
Yep.
Santa brought Sawyer a Vikings picture, and it's got all the Vikings autograph. It's authenticated. It's 45 out of 5,000.
Nice.
Yeah, Sawyer wanted to put that up in my man cave where all my Michigan and Lion stuff is. So Jackie said that I should put it up in the man cave, and I said Sawyer should put it up in his bedroom. So we negotiated and put it in the man cave. So
what kind of negotiation was that?
right? But I thought long and hard about it for a good 3 minutes as she got mad at me for not doing it. But no, I thought he's down here as much as I am, and he loves coming down here. He puts on the games by himself, and he gets into it, and so put it up for him. It's right next to my Lions one, so I'm like, okay, you're Mickey. I was like, I waited 38 years to get this, and then I have to put Viking shit up.
Gotta put Viking stuff. Yeah, that's it.
Can't you like the Wild or the Wolves or the Gophers?
No,
or the Lynx.
The Lynx. There you go. I can tag along on the Lynx.
Yeah, it's his spot too, man. He loves it down here. So.
All right, man, guys, thank you again for tuning in with us, man. This is the end of our show. We've come to the end. We made it to the end. Happy New Year to you all, man. We have more great shows on the way. Again, our new time will be 9 o'clock Central Standard Time, Thursday nights now that football is over with. And tap in, catch up with us, man. Anything that you have for us before we get out of here, Chris?
Thank you to our listeners. Yes, I said that plural, listeners, for chiming in.
We did make it up to 9 total listeners at one point. Yes.
Oh, sweet. That's awesome.
We're
We're ringing in the new year. Maybe we should push it back to 8 o'clock and get that number above double digits. Here we go. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Have a great week. Stay warm.
There it is. And to all my friends that are out here, man, peace and love. Appreciate you. Remember to absolutely be your best, because being empowered starts today. We live life, we love unconditionally, and we seek growth. When you do all three of those, you're in your alpha state. So continue to be you're in your alpha state. Remain primal. Damn it, I done messed the whole thing up. Anyway, man, protect your peace and drink water. We out of here, man. Have a good night, guys.